Back at it with another end of the year rankings videos. In this one, I'm going to be ranking all the horror movies that I saw in 2022. And initially, this was just going to be a top 10 horror or movies that have horror elements in them. But since I've only seen 12 movies that are considered horror or have something to do with horror, I just decided to rank all of them. And before I do that, a few things you should know. This is my opinion on the horror movies that I saw in 2022. We are most likely going to disagree, so make sure that you leave your ranking of the horror movies that you've seen down in the comments section. Share the video with anybody you know or put this video on any of your social media platforms. Please don't forget to smash that like button, especially if you're a fan of horror and to help me out with the YouTube algorithm. Sound off in the comments section about what your thoughts are. Make sure you leave your ranking. And of course, don't forget to hit that sub button, subscribe to the channel, and join the team. Kicking things off in 12th place, my least favorite horror movie or movie with horror elements seen in 2022 is going to be The Harbinger. Now, I know there are a few of you out there that I know very well that really, really like this movie. And unfortunately, I did not. I watched the movie due to the hype that I heard you talk about it, and it just didn't work for me. I found it very uninteresting. I found it very, very plain. I know the movie had some restrictions, and it's more low budget, but I've seen movies with restrictions due to COVID that are a lot better quality than this movie. Again, I apologize. I know it's a movie that you love and cherish, but unfortunately, I didn't. Now, it's very possible that I could watch this movie again and like it a little bit more, but the fact that I would have to watch the movie again, I don't think is going to happen. So that's why The Harbinger comes in 12th place for me. Coming in 11th place for me, and this very well could have been in 12th place, but the movie wasn't hyped for me. I just saw a trailer for it and enjoyed it, and that would be The Invitation. It's kind of a movie about vampires, but that doesn't really happen until the end. That should have been the focal point during the whole movie. And while we kind of know that is, the movie doesn't really let you know that until the end of the movie. And I didn't like it. I thought that the performance by Natalie Emmanuel, Missandei from Game of Thrones, was pretty good. But other than that, there's really nothing that I liked about this movie. And unfortunately, because of that, it comes in 11th place. The only saving grace is that nobody hyped the movie up for me, so it got a little bit better than The Harbinger. Now, from here on out, these are all movies that I didn't hate. I necessarily didn't love them, but I didn't hate them. So with that being said, coming in at number 10 for me is going to be Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Admittedly, I've only seen the 2003 Texas Chainsaw Massacre with Jessica Biel and this one, so I definitely need to brush up on my Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies. It's my intention to watch all of them, even the really bad ones from what I hear. I just haven't got around to it yet, but for some reason I was anxious enough to check this one out on Netflix when I had Netflix, and I must say I enjoyed some of the movie. I really liked, they took elements from Halloween 2018 as well as Halloween Kills in this, and I enjoyed it. I really liked the massacre that was on that bus. I thought that was the best part of the movie. I liked the fact that they tried to do something different and bring back a legacy character, even though that initial actress died, but in the movie she didn't die, so they casted somebody that it resembled her. But then she turned out not to really do anything. She was supposed to be this, like, badass Laurie Strode or maybe even like Sarah Connor character that really panned out to do really nothing at all other than to give us somebody that was in the original movie, and it really went nowhere. She got, spoiler alert, killed pretty brutally actually. But the main issue with this movie is our two main lead characters I thought were just very uninteresting and made me annoyed with the movie. But aside from that, I liked the majority of what happened in this movie, and I hear there's going to be a few more, and I will be watching the next one, and hopefully by then I've watched all of them so I can give a proper review of this series. So that's why Texas Chainsaw Massacre comes in at number 10 for me. Number 9 for me is going to be Halloween Ends. Now, like I said, I don't hate this movie, but I also don't really like it either. It's kind of in the middle of that. I think there are elements, a few, that are very good about this movie. I think despite the route they took, the atmosphere of the movie is very good. And I like the whole third act of the movie, even though it's a little far-fetched. You have Halloween Kills, where Michael Myers is just a brutal badass, and then you have Halloween Ends, where he's weak and barely can pick up a quarter off the phone. I mean, come on, what's going on here? Why do you change things up like that? That doesn't make any sense to me. The whole route with the Corey Cunningham angle, where you have this character introduced and he's really the majority of the movie, I wouldn't have minded that if he would have been introduced in Halloween 2018 or even Halloween Kills. The fact that he's just thrown at us in Halloween Ends makes me dislike the movie more. I thought Allison in this movie wasn't really that great, and I'm surprised that they did go through with Karen dying, because I thought Karen would still be alive, at least initially, and then maybe officially killed off in Halloween Ends. But that didn't happen. She was dead at Halloween Kills, which surprises me. I did like the scene with the little kid at the beginning where he falls. That was pretty cool, but after that, didn't really like it. Don't like the fact that Corey Cunningham pushes Michael Myers, takes his mask. The whole serial killer in training mode, what they're doing, that was kind of odd. When do we see Michael Myers do anything like that? I don't know. I mean, I know a lot of you out there, well, actually, I guess a few of you out there really like this movie. And a few of you have changed your tune on it from not liking it to liking it. I'm indifferent. I don't hate it. I don't like it. I think it's just okay at best. And I don't know if I'll rewatch this movie anytime soon. I doubt my opinion will change on it. I think I've seen the movie now 4 times. 3 or 4 times. Once at the theater, and I know twice at home for sure, but I think I saw it 4 times at home, or 3 times at home, so 4 times total. It's okay at best. Again, I do like the ending of the movie. I think that was pretty badass. But other than that, the movie's got some work, so that's why Halloween Ends is my number 9. Now, from here on out, these next 3 horror movies, or movies with horror elements, are kind of interchangeable. On any given day, my opinion could flip-flop or switch. They're pretty close. Number 8 is a movie I just saw yesterday. I'm recording this video on New Year's Eve, and I just saw the menu last night. Now, the person I went with, she absolutely hated the movie. I liked it. I knew what to expect in this movie. I heard things about it. I knew where it was going. I don't know. I would assume she heard the same things as I did, but maybe she only watched a trailer. Sometimes I will listen to non-spoiler reviews just to kind of get a sense of things. And I enjoyed the movie. I didn't think it was, I mean, it's not my favorite of the year by any means, but it was good enough where I don't hate the movie. I like it. I really wouldn't do anything else about it. It's a movie that I haven't really seen before. Now, that I'm not saying it's something that hasn't been done before, but me personally, I haven't seen anything like that before, and I thought it was enjoyable, so that's why The Menu is currently my number 8. Glad I was able to see that, actually, because I didn't think that I was going to be able to watch that until 2023. Number 7 for me is going to be Pearl. And I know most of you will probably have Pearl higher up in your ranking. I liked it, but I don't like it as much as other movies that are on this ranking. I tend not to like movies that take place in an earlier setting, and this is really early, and a couple other movies on this ranking take place in an earlier setting. But I can't take away from the fact that Pearl was actually a really good movie. Once about a half an hour goes through, then it gets very interesting. It shows this story of this character, and you kind of have some compassion for this character when you didn't before. Mia Goth definitely deserves some sort of Oscar Academy Award or something for her performance, especially that line towards the end of the movie, or that dialogue that she has, that scene where she just keeps talking and talking and talking to the blonde friend that she has. Unbelievable performance. I think the movie is very well done. It's just kind of boring at parts, and it takes place in the earlier setting, so that's why I only ranked it as my number 7. Number 6 for me is going to be The Black Phone. Again, another movie where most of you will have that higher ranked, probably in the top 3, if not 1 or 2. I enjoyed the movie. It's a little slow, and it's a movie that takes place in an earlier setting. If they would have came out with a movie, The Black Phone, that takes place now, I think I would have liked it a lot better. But then again, that takes away from the atmosphere of what things looked like then. So I don't know. But it was good. Ethan Hawke, great in horror movies. Don't know why he doesn't do more of them. I liked him in The Purge. I know some people don't like the original Purge. I happen to like it. The Grabber character, awesome. And I don't think we need a prequel. And they're talking about doing a prequel. I think they should just leave it alone. I like the movie as it is. I liked the kid. I don't remember the characters' names. The kid that was captured and in the basement talking to the other dead people. His sister, she was the show stealer in this movie. But The Black Phone, great movie, just not my favorite. That's why I put that as my number 6. My number 5 is going to be X. And I know a lot of you will put X as your number 1. I enjoyed the movie to a degree, but it's another movie that takes place in an older time period, not much older, but still in the 70s, and I just didn't get into it as much as some people did. Or it was so many people hyped the movie up where I went into it with very high expectations, and I feel like my expectations were met. But this could be a movie that I watch again, and I might like more. I don't know when I'm going to watch it again, but I own it. And maybe, just maybe, I'll watch it again and like it more. But as it stands, X is going to be my number 5. Reason being, I just didn't get into it as much as some of you did. And I think that's where things lie. But another great performance by a lot of the characters in the movie, especially Jenna Ortega. She's like the Scream Queen in all these Scream, the horror movies. Scream 5, Scream 6, Wednesday, if you consider that horror, and then you have X. So that's why X is my number 5. Number 4 for me is going to be Barbarian. This is a movie that I was not on my radar whatsoever. I knew nothing about. And then I was scrolling through YouTube, and I saw a YouTube short from Cody Leach. And Cody, I pretty much watch everything he posts, even if it's something that might spoil something, just because I might watch it then. And he put a YouTube short about, oh my God, this movie's fucking unbelievable, or something like that. Don't quote me on what he said. So I went to watch it, I believe the Friday, so it premiered on a Thursday. I think I went the next day, and I think he overhyped it a little bit too much, but it was certainly a good movie that I was interested in. It takes some twists and turns that make the movie very, very interesting, and you keep, like, they go a different route with things and you're not expecting it, but it's definitely a great movie. Go into it if you haven't seen it yet without knowing anything about it. That would be the advice I would give you. Don't even watch a trailer. In fact, for horror movies these days, I don't know if I want to watch trailers, because it seems like the trailers these days give way too much away for each movie, but the Barbarian one doesn't really do that. It doesn't show a lot that happens, but I liked the movie. I want to own it. As it stands right now, it's not going to be released on physical media. It is on HBO Max, and that's why I put the Barbarian as my number 4. Coming in third place for me is going to be Smile. A movie that I had absolutely zero interest in seeing, especially when I saw a trailer to the movie. I thought it was going to be pretty boring and very predictable. However, a friend of mine, Michelle, told me you need to watch Smile. So I bought it on 4K. I watched it, and I must say, I actually really liked it. I think the movie was very good, intense at times. Not super intense, but intense, suspenseful. The ending is a little cheesy, but it's not bad. But I think there was good performances in the movie, and I just really enjoyed it. And it was a movie that I wasn't expecting to like. I didn't even expect to like it after my friend Michelle had told me you need to watch Smile. So that's why Smile is going to be my number 3. My second favorite horror movie of 2022 is going to be Terrifier 2. Honestly, I wasn't a huge fan of the original Terrifier, and I just watched it for the first time at the beginning of 2022. As I think you can obviously tell, it's very low budget. It doesn't look good, but I do think Art the Clown certainly steals the show, because the rest of the characters, to me, aren't that good, but the movie has definitely got some brutality that make it stand above some other movies that are afraid to push the limit. But Terrifier 2, it's a 2.5-hour movie, and it's absolutely insane. You like Art the Clown even more. There's some supernatural elements that I don't necessarily like being put into this movie, but I mean, I guess you should figure something like that is going to be the case. But Art the Clown, to me, has solidified himself as a definite horror movie icon, and maybe we need some new icons to root for if we're not going to get many movies from the other icons, such as Jason Voorhees, although there's supposed to be that TV series, but I'm skeptical on that. But definitely Terrifier 2 was absolutely crazy, and it definitely had some good performances, especially by our new female lead, which Sienna, I think it's Sienna. She was definitely good, and I'm actually looking forward to meeting her at some point in 2023, most likely at Flashback in August. So that's why Terrifier 2 is my number 2. So I've discussed all these movies that I saw in 2022 as horror. My number 12, The Harbinger. Number 11, The Invitation. Number 10, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Number 9, Halloween Ends. Number 8, The Menu. Number 7, Pearl. Number 6, The Black Phone. Number 5, X. Number 4, The Barbarian. Number 3, Smile. Number 2, Terrifier 2. And that leaves only one horror movie to talk about. My favorite horror movie of 2022 is Scream 2022, otherwise known as Scream 5. Was there really any doubt? I am a huge fan of the Scream franchise, and it had been 10 plus years since we got a Scream movie. In that time period, we lost Wes Craven, and people were saying they wouldn't do another Scream movie without Wes, but Radio Silence put together a good script and paid tribute to Wes Craven in this movie, and it was actually a really good movie. Neve Campbell came back, Courtney Cox came back, David Arquette came back, and then they're joined by these other characters, such as Melissa Barrera, Jenna Ortega. You've got Jasmine Savoy Brown and Mason Gooding, is that his name? That plays Chad. I really liked this movie. Now, it has its flaws. I think the killer reveal is absolutely way too predictable. I want them to make a Scream movie where I have absolutely no idea who is behind these killings, but I want there to be a killer that's actually in the movie. I don't want a cliffhanger where we don't know who the killer is when the movie ends, which they might do for Scream 6. Who knows? But I enjoyed it. I thought it was good. Other than the issue with the killer reveal, I don't really think there is a flaw with this movie. Now, I'm not completely sold on some of the new characters. I'm not a fan of Sam's character yet. I could be in Scream 6. We shall see. Tara's character, played by Jenna Ortega, I like. I think there's a lot of potential there to make her character even better. I don't know if she survives Scream 6, though. I think they might kill Tara off in Scream 6. We shall see. Obviously, spoiler alert, they killed Dewey in Scream 5, and that was absolutely heartbreaking. But I'm glad that they did it, because that differentiates this movie from the other recent ones we've had. No huge character died in Scream 3. No huge character died in Scream 4. Well, if you count Cotton Weary's death in Scream 3, I guess. But there needs to be something memorable that happens in these movies to make them stand out. And I think that stands out. But I'm still skeptical that the person that says that they killed Dewey was the actual person that killed Dewey. I don't know. It just didn't seem like that matches up, but I guess it doesn't really have to match up. Who knows? But Big fan of Scream 2022, Scream 5, whatever you want to call it. Loved it. Obviously, I'm very much looking forward to Scream 6 on March 9th of 2023 or March 10th, but I'm going to see it on March 9th or possibly sooner. So Scream 2022, aka Scream 5, is my number one. So what did you think? Let me know what you think in the comment section. Talk about movies that you liked in 2022 as far as horror or anything else. Let me know what you want to see in 2023. Don't forget to smash that like button to help out with the YouTube algorithm, or if you're just a fan of movies and horror movies in general, share the video with anybody you know or put this video on any one of your social media platforms. Check out all my videos that I have here in the end screen for things that you might want to see on JDev TV. And then last but certainly not least, don't forget to hit that sub button. Subscribe to the channel. You're watching the video anyway. Join the team, show your damn support, and be a part of something special. And JDev will return.